where to begin with project management. My name is Guilherme and I'm a project management expert there. I help professionals to become successful project managers. Everything I'm teaching here is also what I have been using in my own career for the past plus 15 years. I've been working with project management since 2009. I've worked in different industries, different type of companies, different countries there. So the knowledge I'm sharing here is based, of course, on my own developments, my own studies, but managing the challenges that I face in my own career and managing my own projects there. And before I go to the talk, don't forget to like this video here. You help my channel to grow. You help me to understand the value that I have here, and you help this video to get to more people, so because more people can learn project management there. And if you're looking to start with project management, which is the talk, one of the first steps I suggest for you is to click in the link here and subscribe for free for the Project Management Summit. And why I'm saying that? Because of course I'm making the free event, but a lot of people they say I want to learn a bit more about project management, understand what project management is about, what kind of tools that you use, how you can develop your skills, and that's exactly the things that I'm going to teach in the Project Management Summit. I'm going to teach items, okay, talk about, okay, what's a project, why project management is high in demand, what type of skills that you need to have to develop as a project manager there. I'm going to give you an assessment so you can see where you are. That's the chance that if you're looking into project management and you're trying to consider this as a career, that's a first good step. And again, it's everything free, so you don't need to make a big financial commitment there. Why? Because then you understand, okay, do I like project management? Yes or no? Do I think this is something that I would like to do? So if you're looking to begin with project management, that's a very interesting first step. And covering few questions there because I know the follow-up questions because I've been doing that for with hundreds of people. Okay, I'm interested in project management. Is there demand for that? Yes, there's a lot of demand for project management there. Following the Project Management Institute research, you see that's expected a talent gap of around 30 million professionals by 2035. There's the World Economic Forum report saying that project management is one of professions that's expected to grow the most in the next years. So there is demand simply because project management is everywhere. It's in all types of industries, in all types of companies, small companies, big companies. They have projects they need to be executed. So they need the skill for project managers there. It might be that if it's a small company, they are not going to have a dedicated position called project manager there, but you still need to have the skills to deliver the projects. Launching new products, launching new services, opening a new store, expanding to a new market, all those things can be considered as a project. So yes, there's demand. The next follow-up question that you always get, do I always need a certification or do I need to do a master? Let's first tackle the master or the specific graduation question. No, you don't need to have a degree in project management to work with project management. That's why it's an interesting profession because this entry barrier, it's not there. Myself, I don't have a degree in project management. I have a degree in engineering and I have an MBA in business, but I don't have a college degree or I don't have a master in project management there. So that's the first question that I answered. The follow-up question, do I need a certification? Well, certification is something different. There are a few certifications that are recognized around the world. For example, Project Management Institute, it's the biggest project management organization around the world, and they offer certifications there. They have entry-level certification called CAPM, and they have an experienced certification called Project Management Professional, the PMP. PMP is the most recognized and most valuable certification in the market right now. There are others. There's Prince2 Foundation. Prince2 is a methodology developed by the UK government there, so that's why it's very strong in the UK and some places in Europe. Although, so you have Prince2 Foundation, you have Prince2 Practitioner, and you have some Agile certifications also there. Although, then you say, okay, where do I go, PMP or Prince2? If you look for job descriptions, most of case when you have certification requirement there. Prince2 and PMP, they are going to be considered exchangeable. They are going to be considered similar because although those are from different institutions, they get to the level that they're expecting when they ask you for certification. Is that you have formal type of training, project management, you have some type of minimum knowledge there. But to the question, do I need a certification to start with project management? No. Most of people working with project management, they don't have certifications. If you enter the PMI website, there's around 1.7 million people with certifications worldwide. Estimation for the Prince2, there's around 2 million people with Prince2 estimations. And if you take all the other small certifications, Scrum certifications, and so on, you might land in around 5 million certifications worldwide. There's an estimation from PMI, there's around 30 million people working with project management. So most people working with project management, they don't have certifications. Mainly if you are going for an entry-level position, very often you don't see requirements for certifications. Why? Because it does not make sense. Because the most well-known certification, which is the PMP, will require experience for you to take the certification. So you need to have 3 years of experience working with project management to take PMP. Therefore, you cannot take PMP if you don't have experience. So it does not make sense to require for a PMP for an entry-level position. For entry-level position, usually they are looking for more for the type of soft skills that you are going to have there, how is your emotional intelligence, leadership, how you work into a team, because those are critical ones and they are more challenging to develop than understanding, okay, how I'm going to create a timeline, how I'm going to use MS Project, what's a critical path, how I create a business case. Those are hard skills. They are important, but those are easier to teach than emotional intelligence. And I know because I teach both. Part of my programs, I teach both, and I'm going to explain to you, and I'm going to give you the tools to start to develop those things in the Project Management Summit. So here's the thing: you don't need a certification to start. Is it bad to have a certification? Of course not. If you tell me that I have the time and I have the resource, go for the certification also. It's not a blocking point. However, here's a very important thing. Don't wait until you get the certification to start to apply. I've seen hundreds of people in that situation, and what they do, no, I'm going only to apply once I have the certification. So they wait because sometimes they procrastinate the certification because there's another thing that stops people to work with to start working with project management, which is fear. In the end, everybody is afraid of something. Everybody is going to be, at some level, is going to be afraid of rejection, is going to be afraid of being criticized, is going to be afraid of that don't feel good enough for doing something. And for those reasons, it's usually people, they use the certification as an excuse because they say, when I get a certification, I'm going to feel a bit better with myself. But a lot of times they keep procrastinating their certification because they're afraid that if they do it, they fail the certification. And the other thing, then I know even people, they have a certification, they're saying, I'm still preparing for that. At some point, the only way to improve your skills is in the real world. You can join. I did a program there where we had a small internship, and I know some companies, they do that. They give me a site development to develop a website, a small team there that I had to manage a 2 month progress. But okay, for your learning process, I can understand that's interesting, but that's not real world experience because it's a controlled environment. So you're talking about swimming in a pool and swimming in the open sea. Of course, if you practice well in the pool, that's a very good thing. But swimming in the open sea, it's a completely different game. There's a lot of things that you cannot control. So keep that in mind. So what you need to do, prepare a CV, make sure that you're working your CV in a proper way. A lot of people that talk with me, they say, I'm applying for project management positions with a CV they did not work on, that in if I want to put this in a very nice way, that the CV is not good, does not look good, does not showcase why they're interested in the position, does not showcase the type of skill that they have, the experience, and so on. So they get problems trying to get a job. Your goal with the CV is make sure that the hire company or the HR responsible or the hiring manager, they understand why you are a good candidate for a specific position. That's it. Nobody is going to read your CV to try to say, maybe if I think this person, this scenario might be a good person for this position. No, that does not happen. So keep that in mind. This is very important. So work on your CV, start to apply for positions. Next, if you start to apply for positions, start to prepare for interviews. I did that myself. I applied for a lot of positions when I was transitioning to an international career because I did not have also a nice CV. And when I got invited for a position, I forgot to prepare for an interview. I was so excited that, but in the first question, I kind of say, blank. Then I got nervous. I gave a crap answer. Then I got more nervous, and the interview was a disaster. Of course, I did not got a position. But keep that in mind. That's why I created material for you, a video just talking about CVs, how to prepare your CV, what's important, and so on. There's a video just showing you how to prepare for interviews, what kind of questions you can expect, what's an interview structure. This is to prepare. And for you that you say, oh, I've already worked with project management, maybe you're a project coordinator, project support officer, it's time for you to grow your skills. The Project Management Summit will also help you there because I'm going to show which skills that you need to have and I'm going to give you tools to start to work on those skills. So this is quite important and this is quite critical because in the end, nobody is going to promote you just because you have been doing a job for a long period of time. Say, I want to be a project manager and I've seen that. Project coordinator, I want to be a project manager. Okay, are you developing your skills? Are you taking the leadership of something? You are having those discussions with the company, or you're expecting that at some point they are going to say, "Oh, you're a nice person. Here's project manager position." You want to take the ownership of your life. You want to take the ownership of your career, which means take the initiative, take the steps, take the responsibility, show why you're a good fit. Have this discussion with your manager. Hey, I want to be a project manager. What kind of skills do you think I still need to develop to get there? What kind of opportunities I have here? Those are discussions that you need to have in your company. And I wish someone have told me that in the beginning of my career, because although I was putting a lot of effort because I want to get promoted, uh, I kind of did not know that I should have those discussions so openly there. Say, hey, I want to grow. What positions can I have? What kind of perspective can I have inside of this company? It's fair if you have those discussions, and companies usually like that. So how you're going, if you say, okay, where do I start if I'm working with, if I'm working already with project management, I mentioned to you project management summit is a good place to start also. I'm going to show you the skills that you need to develop. And what other type of questions that I get with people starting to work with project management? Do I have to have an engineering degree? No. Are there project management positions in marketing? Yes. Science? Yes. Business? Yes. Engineering? Yes. Project management is everywhere. Non-governmental organizations have project management positions. So whatever you want to do it, project management is important. Project management is one of the top skills to be an effective manager there. Because if you learn project management in a proper way, you're going to learn how to lead, how to work with your team, how to establish targets there, how to establish objectives, goals there, how to break down those goals to make these achievable, how to manage budgets there. All those things are relevant for project management. All those things you learn working with project management. In the end, they are essential if you want to grow in your career, to be a manager, to be a director, to be a CEO, or even to be an entrepreneur there. So to start with project management, you can look for several different options. One of the interesting things that you also can do it if you also say, I want to also get a feeling in practice, look for volunteer opportunities at Project Management Institute. They always have chapters all over the world, and they usually have volunteer opportunities that you can gain some experience. But you can look for general project management experience, general volunteer possibilities there that also you give you opportunities to work in projects, although they are not going, might not call projects. Let me explain to you that. Yeah, I lived in the U.S. for a period of time. There, I've worked at American Red Cross, and as a volunteer in the American Red Cross, types of projects that they were not called like that that was involved. There was a campaign. American Red Cross was running a big campaign to install fire alarms. So from time to time, we will do big events. So a big event, it's a project. So how to organize this event? You need to make sure that you have people to work to go in the house install the fire alarms. That was their proposal, and that was free. So you need to have a list of volunteers to work. You need to have a list of customers, of people wanting to install fire alarms in their house. So you need to have a plan which area I'm going to cover. You need to, so if the volunteers are coming to work the entire day, we need to get some type of food for them, right? Food, drinks, and this kind of stuff. So that's what you need to do. You need to make sure that you have cars for those people that they can go around. You need to make sure that there's enough cars for all the people. Every time when you talk about volunteer work in the American Red Cross, mainly if you are going for someone's house, for safety reasons, it's a requirement to have at least 2 volunteers. So you say, I need to have 2 volunteers at least per car, and those volunteers they need to have enough work to do in one day. So you kind of okay, how many installations I can book versus how many volunteers I have, how I can handle this. So those are important things. So it was a big project. In the end, I was not leading the project, of course I was a volunteer, but it's an interesting experience. And what's the interesting part? Because if you're studying project management, you can go to a volunteer opportunity like that, and you can see that in the optics of the project. What I'm planning here, what are the risks? For example, one of the risks is, okay, let's say if you book 10 houses to install fire alarms and there's no volunteers to go there, there's a risk. How you're going to mitigate that? Or you have 50 volunteers and you don't have enough place so they can go. What you're going to do in this situation? If you have enough people, how you're going to plan the food? All those things, those are skills that you need to develop as a project manager. So it's a nice way that if you are studying project management, if you connect this with a volunteer opportunity, you can get this in practice. And you can get volunteer opportunity even in other types of projects. Maybe the company is creating a new software. Maybe sometimes there are startups that they would be free and willing to get some extra hands there and helping with something. It's just up to you to look for. Again, this is the ownership part that you need to take the initiative and you need to look for things there. Those are the basic ways you can start with project management. Something you should ever do. If you start to study, never stop to study. Even if you get to even if you land a project manager position, because that's very important. I explain that when I talk about the project management mastery journey. There's an entire video explaining that, and if you are wondering, you can check the video later on. As part of the Project Management Summit, I'm going to share the Project Management Mastery Journey self-assessment to you for locating where you are in the journey. To also you can make an assessment to see what gaps that you have in your skills and how you can further develop there. But it's very important that you don't stop to learn. So you need to continue to develop yourself, learning project management. You can find place that provide you a good support. Keep learning different things because that's in the end what's going to help you to develop your career and to be successful with project management there. Again, don't forget this content here is part of the warm up for the Project Management Summit. It's a free event. The only thing you need to do here is click in the link and subscribe. You get even a free certificate there. Also, don't forget to like and share this video because it helps me to see the value that the content has for you there. It helps you to get more people in it because you help me also my channel to grow. So I would appreciate that. And see you in the Project Management Summit. Bye.